Hey folks, Sheila here from Design Files. In today's video, I thought I would recreate this design right here so you can get a sense for a variety of the different ways that you can use the wall editor within the Design Files 3D floor planner to customize your walls. So what we're going to do here is, in this design, we're going to create a bulkhead where pot lights are going to go into it. We're going to add paint to the wall. We're going to add a wood panel. We're going to add floating bench. We're going to also add in baseboard and customize the baseboard with a wood stain. So there's a fair bit that we're going to do, but let's go ahead and jump in and we'll just recreate this look. And if you've been wanting to do any of those things, then keep watching. I'm going to show you easy steps to do it all. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to clear out all the selections that we've added to this surface, and then we'll just recreate this wall from scratch. And then I'm going to just slide some of these items out of the way so that we can add them back in after the fact. So let's just bring this plant over here and we'll get rid of some of these pot lights. Well, you know what? Let's just drag the pot lights down and then we can add them in after the fact. Okay. So first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to click onto the wall, because anytime you want to edit walls within the Design Files 3D floor planner, all you have to do is click directly on the wall. You're going to see an edit icon appear. Click that and it will bring you into the wall editor. Now in the wall editor, this is where you're going to be able to add any sort of shapes or structures. You can add trim, you can apply paint or other textures to the walls. And when you come in here, you're going to see the full wall here. And if you see any black shapes like this is just indicating that this is a doorway, or if there was windows, you would also see black shapes for the windows. And that will help you design around them. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to go ahead and add a paint color to this wall. So over here on my right side panel, you can see that I can add shapes, I can add trim, and then I've got my texture library here where I can go into any of these options to apply a finish to the wall. If I click into paint, I'm going to see these collections and I can go directly in it and I could just browse, or if I know the name of the color, I can put it in here. So I want to do alpaca, and then I'll just click on that, click directly on the wall, and it's going to apply it to the whole wall. So the next thing that I would probably do is build out that bulkhead where the pot lights are going to be added. So I am basically going to need to create a rectangular shape that goes along the top half of this wall. So I'm going to go into the right side panel, click add shape. I'm going to click the rectangular option. I'm going to click on the top point of the wall, move my mouse out and just drag it all the way across to the opposite end of the wall and click to release it, and that's going to break the wall into two different sections. So now I've got this rectangular shape. I'm just going to zoom in here, and the way I'm doing that is by using the wheel on my mouse, and I'm going to move my screen around as well so I can always get into the area that I want. And whenever I want to move my screen around, I'm just holding down the right button on my mouse and dragging it around. Now I want my bulkhead to be 11.5 inches, not 14.5 inches deep. So I'm going to click on the edge of this rectangular shape and I'm just going to drag it up until I have 11.5 inches. Now that I've got that, the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply a color to this bulkhead. So I'm going to go back to the paint library here, and I could go into any of these collections and pick a specific color. But if you've already been adding colors to your design, be sure to check out your recents folder here, because it's going to house all the colors that you've already used. And then you can just quickly grab it and apply it to any of the shapes that you've added to the wall, instead of having to look for that texture through the library again. So it just speeds up the process. So now I'm just going to zoom out here. You can see that we've got this white band that's essentially running across this wall, but it's flat. So we need to extrude it so that it has some depth. And to do that, what we basically need to do here is I'm going to click on that shape, and over here on the right side panel, you're going to see there's an extrusion option. So I'm going to extrude it out 24 inches. And you can see in the 3D floor plan or the 3D preview that it's actually popped out into the space. So now we've got that depth. So now I'm going to close this down. And the next thing I'd probably add would be the baseboard. Let's go ahead and we'll do that. So over here on the right side panel, you'll see that you can add shapes and you can add trim. So I'm going to click into the trim option. We'll go into the baseboard library. Here you're going to see a number of different options. So just pick the one you want, click on it, and it will add to the wall. Now, once you've added your baseboard, over here on the right side, you're going to see that you can actually change the properties of the baseboard as well. So in this case, I actually do want to change the height. I want the baseboard to be 8 inches tall. I'm going to leave the depth alone, and I'm going to change up the finish. So I'm just going to click the edit icon here. And in this case, I want it to have a wood finish. So I'm going to go into the wood library, into wood textures, and you'll see that there's loads of options here that you can pull from. But again, remember, if you've already been adding specific textures to your designs, you can always check out your recents folder and you can pull the same textures that you've used and then apply them to different elements in your design so that you're repeating the same wood finish. Now here, you can see that the wood grain is actually going vertically. I don't want it to do that. I want it to go lengthwise so it looks more natural. So over here on the properties panel, if I scroll down, you're going to see there's a rotation tool. So I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees so that the texture goes lengthwise instead of vertically. So now we've got our baseboard, we've got our bulkhead, we've added the paint color to the wall. The next thing we can do is add in the floating bench. So over here, I'm going to create another rectangular shape for that. So back to shapes, back to the rectangle option. I'm going to click on the edge of my wall here and just create a shape. And I'm not going to worry about the exact measurements because I can adjust that after the fact. So I think what I'm going to do here is make this maybe 5.5 inches for the overall depth for the bench. And we'll just bring that back so it's 7 inches away from the door edge here. So now what I want to do is, I think I'm going to bring this down because 25 inches, well, technically this would be 26 inches from the floor. That's a bit high. So I'm going to click my rectangular shape here, and I'm just going to use the left, right, and up, down arrows on my keyboard, and I'm going to drop this down so that I've got 14.5 and 5. So the top edge of my bench is going to be 20 inches. So I'll leave it at that. And now that I've got it in place, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply texture to it, and then I'm going to extrude it so that I've got some depth to the bench as well. So I'm going to go back to the wood texture library here. And I think I might actually just take this option. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll take this option right here. We're going to apply this to the bench here. And again, I want the texture to run lengthwise instead of vertically. So over here, I'm going to go to the rotation option, and I'm just going to do 90 degrees. So this goes lengthwise. And now I need to extrude it out. So I'm going to open this up so you can see what's happening here. So if I need this to extrude out into the space, I'm going to use the extrusion tool and we'll do 18 inches. And then you can see that it's going to pop out of the wall right here. And you can make it, you can bring out the bench as much as you like. So if you prefer like a 20-inch bench, then just go ahead and extrude it out 20 inches. So we've got the bench now, and the last thing we need to do is add that wood panel accent. So here's how we're going to do that. I'm going to zoom out so we can see the full height of the wall here. Instead of creating a rectangular shape that's going to go full length and cut through the bench, you don't want to do that, because if you cut through the bench, it's going to break your bench shape, and then you'll have to reapply the texture in the extrusion. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take the rectangular tool right here. We're going to come to the bottom edge of the bulkhead, create a rectangular shape that's going to come to the top edge of the bench. And I think I want this to be about 4 feet. So I'm just going to click here so I can add in that rectangular shape, and then I'll just zoom in here. And I'm just going to drag this line in till I have 48 in length here for a 4-foot wide wood panel. So now that I've got that in place, I'm going to go back to my wood library, and this time I'm going to go into the wood panel option. You'll see lots of options that you can pull into your design. I'm going to take this one right here, click it, click on the actual rectangular shape so that I can add it. And if I wanted to, I could play around with this as well, and I could make this go on a 45-degree angle, or make the boards go 90 so it's going vertically across like this, or horizontally across. But I think I'm just gonna leave it as is, and I'll have the boards go the full length. Now, the next thing I need to do here is I need to apply this same texture down below the bench as well, so that it looks like it's going for the full length of the wall. So I'll do another rectangular shape, click in here, I'm just going to extend it out, and you'll see it's going to kind of snap into place with those red dashed lines, so you'll know if you're perfectly aligned. Then just click to release, and you're going to create that shape, add your wood texture again, and that's about it. That's pretty much the overall design. So we've got our bulkhead, we've added our paint, we've added our wood panel, we've got our floating bench, and we added in the baseboard and added a wood trim to it. So I'm going to save this design. Here it is. And then you can just start sliding your accent pieces back in. So I'm just going to use the arrows here to just slide these underneath and off to the side here. And then I'll do the same thing for the potted plant. We're going to bring this up. Well, give me 1 second here. Pop this up here. And actually, I know that the top surface of my bench is 20 inches, so I'll just use the distance from floor here to go to 20. And I can use these arrows to just kind of slide this into place. And then if I am ready, I can just click on my little pot lights. So you would just search for recessed lighting, pot lighting, anything like that. When you find the product, you're going to drag it out onto your floor plan. It is going to basically sit on the floor, so you can push it back to your wall, just the same way I was doing with the baskets and the plant. And then again, you can raise it up using the up-down arrows. And if you know the exact height for your bulkhead that you've added, in this case it's 108 inches, then I could just click on the next one and then just put in 108 inches, raise it up, and the next one for 108 inches. And that's it. So yeah, so within this design, within this video, we were able to customize the wall in a number of different ways. If you have any questions about using the wall editor or any aspect of the 3D floor planner within DesignFiles, then always feel free to reach out to us on the live chat. You can also schedule a 30-minute demo call with Jackie or Jen, and they would be able to walk you through any of the questions that you have step by step. But definitely jump into your DesignFiles account, give it a try. Try to recreate this look and see if you are able to do that with ease. If you run into any issues at all, we are here to help out. Thanks so much for watching.